What's up, YouTube? Okay, today on the workbench, a Samtron. Nope, just kidding. That is from the same customer. He brought me a couple VCRs, but this is what we're talking about today. The PIKACHU VCR. I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for months. Ever since I found out that this existed, I've been trying to get a broken one to make a repair video. And randomly, a coworker messaged me and asked if I could take a look at a couple of his VCRs, and one of them was this one. So I'm super psyched about this. It sounds like there's something, it's kind of hard to hear, something rattling around in there. It's a small piece of plastic. Might just be a support structure or something. The little plastic pieces snap off every once in a while when these things get stored or shipped. It's a Funai unit, of course it is, just look at it. I have another Funai unit right here that Emerson rebranded, same exact shape. So we do have replacement parts if we need them. I'm very willing to sacrifice this. I got this for $2 at a garage sale, so I'd be more than happy to sacrifice that to save this piece of Pokemon history. We're gonna dive into this, figure out what's wrong. It's probably a mode switch, right? That's what all of them are at this point. I don't know what grease they were using at the factory, but it all just corrodes the mode switch, gunks up, and then it destroys your tapes. I'll repair this one and a couple other ones that the same customer gave me. I don't know if I'll make videos on that. He gave me that Samtron, and then he gave me a combo unit as well. They're all eating tapes, but this is the primary focus today. Super excited. Might as well just go all out and do the whole strip down on this video. All right, just milking this for time. And the reveal. What does it look like inside? We know it was a Funai unit, there's no doubt there. I'm trying to find that. Maybe if I shake it I can find the piece of plastic that was rattling around in here. Oh boy, I don't know what that is. It's not coming to mind right now. Ah, pinch roller. Yeah, that's the retaining ring, maybe, for the pinch roller? There we go. Alright, yeah, this just goes on top and the little plastic piece does just push on there. But this definitely needs a cleaning. It's all gunky inside. Focus there, it's all gunky. So, I mean, that's part of the problem. It's not going to play. It can't moderate the tape speed. Operation here looks good. We've got forward and reverse. I'm thinking it's just a simple mode switch and this fell off at some point. I'll zip all these off. I'll come back in with the magnet to take these out. This thing's unfortunately not magnetic. And then that one there actually needs to be done with a normal screwdriver. I can't get anything else in. I think I'll leave the auto head cleaner on for this one. It's actually not that bad. I don't think this VCR has been used much. Alright. You start knowing these Funais after a while. You know how many screws you need to get out. Face plate. Oh, that one's tight on the bottom. I might try to pry it off a little bit. There we go. I don't want to break this, trying to be incredibly delicate with it. Because this thing's worth a lot of money. Made in the early 2000s, of course, as many VCRs were. It actually had a Pikachu stuffed plushie that was the remote that was integrated inside of it. I asked the customer to go look for that because that thing alone is worth a couple $100s. You see the difference in price selling on eBay between just the VCR working and the VCR with the remote. Then we'll have to take the screws on the bottom off, of course. come back with a cleaning later, but thankfully it's not a combo unit. It means that this screw is not covered with this cable. On the combo units, the board's a lot bigger and this cable comes in a hole up over the screw, and it's a little nerve-wracking trying to get it off. I have a video of me repairing one where I had to actually remove this cable. A little frightening because you gotta put all that back together. It's a lot of small pins. You don't want to have anything solder bridged. Come on. There we go. That's just it. That's all you need to do to get this board to lift up a little bit. I'll service the belts here. Might as well. We're in here. Let's give this thing a best fighting chance to last as long as possible. And then we've got another belt here. Come on. There we go. Get that belt off. Mode switch. Pop this off, this little black cap here. There we go. Be very careful with this. It's fragile. Clean the mode switch. Spray in a little contact cleaner here. Get the old grease out. It really doesn't look that bad. I don't know if it's the grease that makes these go bad here or what. We'll get that a little dirty, not terrible. And then next we'll come in with this little brush here, kind of just scrub in, polish up these contacts. Spray in some more there as I bump the camera around. All right, same with the fingers here on the mode switch, but we're going to be very careful only to go one direction. Scrape and lift up. That has actually cleaned them up quite nicely. This is contact cleaner. Again, I've got the WD-40 brand, but it is not the lubricator. It is contact cleaner specifically for electronics. Don't use WD-40 anywhere in a VCR. Super lube. This stuff's a little pricey, but you use so little of it. All right, grab some of that. This is a dielectric, so it's not gonna cause anything to short out here. Just gonna get it in there nicely. Spread it all around. I'm nervous about doing that with the glove. I need full dexterity here so I don't mess that up. Gotta get it right in the center and then pop it back on. Spread it around. And then the proper position should be towards the rear, I believe. That's the starting position. We'll put that back in and I'll get to the belts. I'll pause here and work on the plastic a little bit. It needs a little touching up, nothing serious. This magic eraser's seen better days, but it'll do the job just fine. If you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more repair content, hit the subscribe button. So these little scratches here, if you just buff them out lightly with the magic eraser, they'll clean up just fine. The magic eraser is a very light abrasive, so you don't want to go too crazy on this. If it's a deep scratch, you're not going to get it out, and you're just going to ruin the finish. And you can dull some deeper gouges too, but overall, it's not going to get them out. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Yellow. Didn't get red or blue. Then I moved on to Silver. I didn't have Gold, but I did get Crystal. And then I had Ruby and Emerald as well. Probably Ruby and Emerald. That generation was my favorite. Johto League was really good, but I felt the Ruby and Emerald, Sapphire, they were just well polished, and it was a fun game overall. Let me know in the comments what Pokemon game you like the best. What was your first one? This is the top. This one might be actually more difficult to get cleaned up just because it's a rougher surface. It's got this texture. Actually, yeah, that got rid of it quite well. I'll work out some of this dust and other gunk off camera, but I think that's better than when it came in. We got rid of this big blotch here. For cleaning the belts, I've got a little jar of acetone here. You gotta be careful. Acetone is nasty stuff. I'm gonna dip a little rag in here. And what you gotta do with these belts, take it, fold it over, pinch it, run this through. This is going to just strip off the surface layer, contaminants, oxides, grease maybe if it's picked it up. And you get this nice little black line there. Just keep doing that a couple times until the black line gets lighter, a little bit less dark. I'm going to do that with both belts here. I'll also take a little bit of acetone and clean these pulleys here. These pulleys, I believe, are made of nylon, which is safe for acetone, but you always want to make sure that it's not going to completely melt the plastic. There are plastics like ABS, polystyrene, I believe, as well, that'll just melt under acetone. You see all that gunk? That's what we're going after. Got all that off the pulleys. I'm going to do the same to the pulleys that are underneath. That might be a bit harder to see and do, but same process. Dip it a little acetone, scrub. There we go. For this, I'm going to prop up the board on the jar of my acetone a little bit. And then we're going to just run this through. You can, if you look closely, I don't know if it'll come on camera, but you can actually see a lot of the gunk coming off of this pulley. Now for the capstan motor, that pulley is a bit harder to get to from the front, so I'll just go through the back here. I'm just gonna run that through there. All right, putting the belt back on, you don't want to touch basically anything on the underside of the deck. So I'm gonna try to stretch that over. Come on. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a professional. Yeah, there's a lot of grease here and everything. You don't want to just ruin what you just did. So, mode switch caps back on. It should be in the right place. If it doesn't sit flat, it's not in the right place, but it is sitting flat, so we got that going for us. This belt here, similarly, you don't want to touch any components that have grease on it. Get a better shot here. Try to get that more visible. I'm going to loop this around to help just kind of loop it in. And then once it's in, pull it tight so that it does not droop onto something it shouldn't. And I'll bump the camera again. There we go. Now that's on. Try not to have the belt twisted, but normally you just run it a little bit and the belt kind of fixes itself. Putting these screws back on the bottom. One is a machine screw, like a metal thread. One is a plastic thread. So just need to be cognizant of that. Then the plastic one goes in here. Putting this back in the case. Don't really want to keep it out of the case for longer than I need to. It's just asking for things to get caught and break. Alright, we'll run that back in. A lot of little posts, plastic posts to line up all around here, like here, here. I think that's it. There we go, pop that in there. Yeah, that's all set. Cleaning the sensors here. Just gonna run over with some isopropyl. Oh, that was quite dirty. This is the erase head. Someone ran a dirty VCR or VHS through this thing. We're just gonna run through all these different little areas here with a wetted Q-tip. Cotton swab, sorry, generic trademark. This is the audio heads capstan shaft. Looks pretty good. I don't think there's really anything I can do there. Sometimes you get gunky. Adding a little grease to this pinch roller shaft. The pinch roller itself needs a bit of a clean, so get some acetone and this Q-tip. Try to clean it up here. Let's pop that back on. I tried pulling off the other one on my other VCR, and that was kind of tough to do, so I don't know how this came off. But we will put that all back together, and hopefully it will stay as it should. I have a piece of printer paper folded over a bit with some isopropyl on the tip. I'm just going to press that up against the head drum fairly firmly and just spin the head drum. A little dirty. There's a light that comes out of here, this prism, and it goes to the two sensors on the side here. Just gonna give those a little dusting. Normally don't get too bad, but a quick dusting, knock off any debris that's on it. All right, everything's back together. Things have been cleaned. Things are in basically the right position. I'm gonna hit the switch here and we are going to see what happens. Got the voltage we need. Is it even responding? Let's find out. Yeah. Going through its cycle here. Pinch roller's rolling. I think that might be a success. We need to check the screen. I don't have it connected. We'll do that. All right, we do indeed. Let's take this off here. We do indeed have picture. We'll cover this up. I don't think anyone's looking to copyright strike me for a, looks like a personally produced Fighting Wisconsin muskie tape that I have. But I've got it muted as well. But we got playback. We'll check some more functions. Let's try the, well, I can't actually try the rewind or fast forward. They're missing from the front here, so they were not populated on the board. I think underneath the board it looked like things existed. If I were to short some things together, maybe I'd get that, but you know, this is as good as we're getting, I think. We can try to stop and eject. That's about as far as I can test it. Gonna call that a success. That's the end of this video. I appreciate your viewership. Really appreciate you watching me go back through a little bit of Pokemon history and bring this back to life. A simple fix. These Funai units, I don't know what it is. The mode switch just gets dirty over time. Scrubbing it down, putting in some new dielectric grease. You got yourself, you know, a couple $100 VCR. I asked the customer if he had the remote. He said he didn't know. He needs to go check the storage unit, but I told him that thing's worth like $200. So altogether, you got like a $500 VCR set here, which is pretty funny because you're just paying for the plastic. As we discussed, this same VCR, I got this for $2 at a garage sale. The internals are exactly the same. There's like nothing special about this at all. I don't even see a Pokemon, you know, like logo on the screen, so they really put in minimal effort for this. I'll see you on the next one.